Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today I have a review for Transformers Studio Series number 44. This is the leader class Optimus Prime from the Dark of the Moon movie. This toy is basically a redeco of the previous Optimus Prime, or slight retool, I suppose. Previous Optimus Prime with a whole bunch of accessories added on. And those aforementioned accessories are actually formed by his trailer. So this guy is a bit of a rarity in today's day and age in that he is an Optimus Prime that comes with a separate trailer. So it's very cool. Obviously the reason for this is that was one of the highlights of Optimus's appearance in the Dark of the Moon movie, is that he did have a trailer that formed kind of a battle station, but also became a jetpack and armaments for him. So if you've seen my reviews before, you know how this goes. We're going to take a look at the figure's packaging, check out the instructions, and then look at Optimus himself in all his various modes, look at all his accessories and everything. Naturally, I'll be doing comparisons with the previous Optimus Prime toys in Studio Series, and at the end, I'll be giving my final thoughts. So let's get started. So the packaging, big old liter-sized box as usual. It's got all your usual branding there. Nice render of Optimus on the front, though oddly, not an accurate one. You can see the difference in his chest there. So this is actually more representative Optimus in the first and second movies than the third. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Looks kind of weird. Different render and a close-up of Optimus's face on the side. Over here you have his robot and truck modes. It takes 44 steps for conversion, so nice and complex. Shows off his little battle station thing right here. It's got a description that says Optimus Prime blasts into battle using his jet wing tech to take out the driller tearing through Chicago. Drill they talk about is Shockwave's little pet monster thing. Shows he's got this big backdrop, which looks like the Battle of Chicago. It also has a call out to Studio Series number 35, which was Jetfire. Now, I've previously done a review for Jetfire, as well as the Voyager Optimus Prime and how they combined. This guy can do the same thing. The Jetfire toy actually comes with an alternate set of abs that you'll see here at the end that you can swap out with his regular abs so that they can connect. And you also might notice on this render, his abs are unpainted. And that caused a bit of a stir with some people because, they were really let down. They thought it was very lazy when they first saw images of this thing, that they went and retooled his chest to give him these metal components. By the way, there's the other render. These metal components right here, and then didn't paint them. Well, luckily that ended up not being the case. I don't know if it was just a mistake on the render or if Hasbro and Takara actually took that on board and changed it. We'll never know. It's not like they would ever admit either way, but yeah, so a lot to look at. Expect a pretty long review, but it's one I'm excited to do for you guys. All right, here are the instructions for Optimus. Let's see, number 44 here, Optimus Prime, Dark of the Moon. And they just unfold, and they're surprisingly small for everything that's going on with this toy. Basically shows you how to remove it from his back and to take his weapons off, how to place his back pieces in the correct configuration up to that point, and then also seamlessly transitions into the actual transformation to truck mode. So goes most of the way here, continues on the back to get the truck mode, shows you the weapon storage, shows you how to transform his jetpack and little battle station into the trailer. And then it's got a cross-sell for number 35, Jetfire, because of the whole combination thing that they share. Now here's Optimus's full vehicle mode, complete with trailer. You can see the cab portion is the same exact toy that we got from the previous Voyager release. Even comes with the same little gun there. The trailer is the new part. Go ahead and remove that. And it's largely unpainted, which was really disappointing to some people. A lot of people thought this was going to be painted silver. I can't recall if it was actually shown in promotional images to have paint on it, or if they were just kind of expecting things that maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. But it does have a lot of sculpted detail. See a sculpted Autobot symbol right here. This bit right here is painted blue, which is nice. But most of this is this like pearly gray plastic. You got painted wheels on the side. These wheels actually move. These are just molded in. And they sit a little bit higher than the other wheels so that they don't drag on the ground or anything. I'm not entirely sure why they did it that way, but I don't know. The underside is pretty open. You can see all the kibble and stuff, the weapon storage from underneath. But, you know, from most angles, it looks like a pretty solid semi-truck trailer. Just go ahead, put it back on like so. This connection here, I'm not sure the exact size. It's a bit bigger than a 5mm port. So I don't know, maybe like 6-7 millimeters. It plugs in there very well. Snug, but not too snug. And before I recorded this part of the video, I went and tested out a bunch of different Optimus Primes, be it the original G1, the Bumblebee Studio Series Prime, Siege Optimus Prime. None of those fit this trailer. Most of them use something akin to like a 5mm port, but that post there is just too big to fit. So that's unfortunate. You know, they had an opportunity where they could have specifically molded all this to fit a variety of Optimus Prime toys, but for some reason elected not to do that and made the post and the hole a little bit bigger than a standard 5mm. So it's a shame, missed opportunity, because this thing looks, you know, generic enough as far as Optimus Prime trailers go that this could easily work for like a G1 base Prime or, you know, maybe the Bumblebee appearance, but what can you do? All right, and here's Optimus with his two mold mates from the Studio Series line. You have number 5, which is Revenge of the Fallen Optimus, which was the original use of this mold. Number 32, which was a retool of 5, meant to represent his first movie appearance. And it also had the ability to combine with Jetfire. And now number 44 here is a straight redeco of number 32, as far as the cab. Like I said, they have the same weapon and all that. Everything else about them is the same mold-wise. You can see a lot of deco differences between these three. The first toy had these very dark colors. Second toy lightened them up a little bit, and arguably a bit too much for screen accuracy. And then the third toy more or less kept the colors, but just altered some paint apps a little. The biggest difference you'll see is the orange accent added to the front of the truck here that this one lacked. So this is actually more movie accurate that way. The silver paint on the grill and the bumper and all that does seem to be a little bit glossier than the one found on this toy. Another big difference is that this toy uses clear plastic for the windshield and windows, and even the fake windshields that go on the chest, whereas this one uses solid plastic and it's just painted silver where the glass goes. I'm not sure why they made that change exactly. Some people don't like it. Me, I'm kind of indifferent. I don't really think one's better or worse necessarily. Just different tastes. Though I imagine if you're crafty, you could probably kind of part swap these a little bit. Maybe give this guy the windows that you think he deserves. A big loss for this toy is whereas number 32 has this black paint showing, you know, like, I guess like muzzle flash or something on his cannon. This one omits the paint completely. It's just the solid plastic. So that is a shame. Kind of cheaped out there. Everything else, I think, is more or less the same. Maybe slightly different shades of plastic, but if they are different, they're very, very close. Dark of the Moon Optimus can attach Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime's swords to the back of his truck. So he is fully compatible with them in this mode, which is always a little plus there. However, it doesn't go the other way around, so Revenge of the Fallen Prime, he can't really properly attach his weapon. I guess you can tab it in up here if you really want to, though. Yeah. So you can do that, I guess. Alter it a little bit if you want to. As I said, both of these prior releases are compatible with the trailer. So if you want to have some fun with that, just go ahead, plug it into that little hitch in the back. It carries it just fine, everything fits well. Same goes for this guy. Just plug it in. And yeah, so this does offer a lot of play value if you own more than one version of this toy. You can mix and match things however you want. Create your own Optimus Prime. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and transform Optimus to his robot mode. I'm not going to cover the transformation here, but I will throw in a link and a card for the number 32 Optimus so you can see his transformation if you would like. All right, here we have Optimus's robot mode. Overall, there's not a whole lot of new stuff to see here compared to the other molds. With one big exception, his abdominal area here is a new piece that's retooled from the one for the second Voyager from Transformers 07. And this is just done to make him more screen accurate to the Dark of the Moon version of Optimus, because for whatever reason they decided to give him these like grill abs in the third movie, which admittedly look cool. I think it's actually a bit of an improvement over the standard just like flat panels here. Nice silver showing and all that. But yeah, as far as deco, not a big difference to the first toy, aside from the ones we mentioned already, windshields, front of the truck there. Here's Studio Series 32 for comparison, just to really hammer that point home. Very, very similar layouts. Tolerances feel pretty much identical between the two, so no real signs of mold degradation yet, which is awesome. And then these abdominal pieces, if you don't already know, can be detached. It might take a little bit of force. They don't like to come out very well, but they do come out. Or wriggle it. There you go. All right, so that's what it looks like underneath there. Actually looks pretty similar to the Studio Series 5 ab area. But yeah, that's what this looks like. This is done up in a solid plastic this time, whereas his is actually transparent plastic painted red. Which is kind of unfortunate because you can see here is already a little bit of scraping going on, so kind of see the clear plastic underneath. And if you don't already know, this comes into play when it comes time to combine them with Jetfire, because this ab piece is not compatible with Jetfire. This one is. So we'll get a chance to see, what they do about that. And for some more fun, here's Studio Series 5, just to round out the trio. Makes it pretty evident just how much this toy's been changed for the newer releases there. Personally, I feel the changes are for the best overall, not even factoring in the combination gimmick. The whole chest area just ends up looking so much better. All right, next I'm going to demonstrate the connectivity with Jetfire. I already mentioned that his abdominals are not compatible with Jetfire, so to remedy that, when Jetfire came out, he came with an extra piece. We're going to get a look at that. Gotta unfold his back a little. By a little, I mean a lot. And then right inside here, let's see this little mystery piece. And lo and behold, it's new abdominals for Optimus. Now, oddly enough, these don't color match to Optimus very well. They actually look like a better match for the Studio Series 5 toy, though sadly they're not compatible with each other. So I'm not sure what the reason for the color mismatch is. I imagine the early stages they planned on coloring Optimus this shade of red and then change their minds later. So in actuality, the ab piece that comes with Studio Series 32 might be a better fit if you're worried about the color matching, because it is much closer in appearance to this. But we're going to go with this one because that's what it's meant for. So you just remove his ab piece. Again. Helps like hook your thumb up underneath. And so you just attach it like so. And it gives him more of a Transformers, number 1 or 2 appearance. And I mean, the mismatch, it's not that noticeable unless you're really looking for it. So it's passable. Again, you always have the option of swapping with the other Optimus if you want to. All right, and here we have Optimus combined with Jetfire. And you can see he's just as capable of pulling off the combination as Studio Series 32 was. His joints are still nice and tight, so you don't have to worry about him flopping around at the knees or the waist or anything. He holds his weight very well. Like I said, for number 32, though, I don't know if I would keep him or that one in this configuration for a long period of time, because I feel like over time, gravity will run its work and probably start loosening those joints up and he'll start flopping. Maybe, maybe not. Personally, I don't know if I'd want to risk it. But he looks very good like this. Almost no discernible difference between him and 32, aside from some slight color variations. And honestly, that actually really annoys me. Because functionally, this toy is everything that Studio Series 32 was, and then some. I mean, there's some small deco differences between them, but one isn't vastly superior to the other. So I honestly feel like owning both of them is a huge waste of money. And, you know, I'm quite annoyed that they revealed the Voyager one, 32, released him, and then we're like, oh, by the by, we're going to release a leader class version that's all the same stuff, plus a trailer. And, my cynical half thinks that's just really intentional. They wanted us to drop the money on the first one before they told us a newer one was coming out. I can't prove it, speculation, but I think it'd be naive to think that's not exactly what just happened. It's kind of like how Takara released that Movie the Best series and did all those premium redecos of older movie toys right before Studio Series hit. They made you think this is the definitive figure, and they're like, just kidding. So I'm a little salty about that. I won't lie. I think it was kind of a scummy move on their part. I would have been perfectly fine just owning this toy and not buying the other one, the Voyager, but it's too late now. All right, now we're going to transform Optimus's trailer. First thing you're going to do, move these cannons from the underside. Just plug in like that. Then you're going to kind of pull this apart at the top, basically untabbing the top, so that you can pull this piece out, which is basically the jetpack. Set that aside. You're going to open these back doors up, swing this piece downward. So I'm kind of a double hinge, so swing it down like that, and then these little tabs plug in right there to make it like a nice firm base, like so. All right, now that you got this standing up, you're gonna take this part, rotate it down until it clicks into place. There are actually like little tab bits in here. Just go like that, nice and firm. All right, now you got it like this. You're gonna unplug these little semicircle bits from the edges. You're gonna kind of round this out. All right, gonna go ahead and remove the accessories for the moment. Pull them out. So, by the way, I'm gonna swing these bits outward, and then they are going to attach right here. So that piece goes in that slot, like so. So you just make it go all the way through. There's 4 attachment points. All right, so you get this kind of nice circle. Do the same thing there. Helps to start from the top and work your way down. It creates a frame, makes it nice and solid. All right, now we're gonna set the weapons up on this thing. If you haven't already, remove the shield from this back piece, and it's actually going to attach right here on this 5mm port. You just plug it in. I want to make sure the edge of it is kind of wedged in there. It'll hold it stable. And then you take the axe, which is sadly not painted, so to cheap out on it, should be orange here. You're gonna plug it in right there. There's a little slot. It plugs in pretty firmly too. Kind of snaps into place. The sword goes on this side, attaches this triangular little tab there via the slot in the sword. So we'll just push it on there nice and firmly. Then lastly, the cannons are going to attach these 5mm ports at the bottom. So you just push them on like so. And they fit very nicely. So now that you have his weapons platform set up, you can give Optimus access to any part of his arsenal. You know, he can wield a shield, a battle axe, handheld sword, or his cannons here, though he typically only uses these with the jetpack. In case you're wondering, the placement for these is not actually shown in the instructions. This is based off of some promotional artwork, but this does seem to be the intended placement for everything. And there is kind of an empty spot right here. So if you want to, this fits kind of perfectly, you go ahead and plug his smaller cannon there. It's not shown anywhere on instructions or promotional images, but it works. Kind of makes it a little more symmetrical there. And yeah, it's a really cool thing to have. It's a little battle platform for Optimus. Now the transformation for the jetpack's pretty simple. Take these wings and you just untab them right here. You can see that. Do the same thing on that side. You're gonna swing them out. Take this part and fold it all the way on itself, like that. Then you're gonna take this, fold it down to where this tab goes in the slot, nice and securely, like that. And these smaller wing little appendage things, they're gonna swing out and they're going to plug in here. So just push it in like that. Same thing on this side, just rotate it 180, make sure it plugs in. And then this part just lifts up to be like the little shoulder straps. And that's really it for the jetpack. It's very simple. There are hinges on these wings, though the only real purpose they seem to serve is just putting Optimus in his box, in his package. They don't seem to be used for anything functionally besides that, so. If you discover anything, feel free to let me know. Before I attach the jetpack, here's a quick look at Optimus wielding his sword and his axe here. Like I said, the axe is supposed to be painted orange like the sword. It's supposed to be like an energy axe, or at least a energized axe. The sword is actually very similar to the wrist-mounted ones that the Studio Series 5 toy has, and also the ones that Optimus wields in some of the movies. It's really the same sword, just in Dark of the Moon he ends up like kind of flipping one around and making it a handheld weapon. So that's why we have this included. Additionally, here's Optimus utilizing his regular gun with the shield, so we can show that off. And unfortunately with the shield, there doesn't seem to be a way to attach it to his forearms or anything. You just have to have him hold it via the regular post there. So it looks a little awkward. It's not how one would typically hold a shield, though it helps if you just kind of rotate his wrist out. You can kind of create the effect of it, you know, covering his forearm. Up to you how you want to do it, though. I am disappointed that they didn't line up the tabs in such a way that it clips onto his arm panel or something, but oh well. This is what we get. Alright, now to combine Optimus with his jetpack, you have to set him up almost as if you were combining him with Jetfire. So you're gonna alter his back again, swing these panels out, rotate them to where they're pointing straight up, like so. Then you're gonna take this kind of secondary panel, make sure these are straight, and just bring that guy straight down like that. Gives them the clearance for the attachment to take place. And then you take the jetpack, and you can see it's got two little slots right here that these will connect to. You can see they have kind of these like guide rails right here, which will latch on to this bit right here, the roof. So you want to come in from the top, you can see it, and place those rails kind of over the roof, and you just press down until they click into place, which they should do pretty easily. You can feel it too. Everything just kind of come together, and make sure you did it right. Look here, make sure those tabs kind of just on their own latch into that slot there. You want to push it up in there, make sure it goes. But yeah, much simpler than the Jetfire connections, but that is it. That's the Jetpack. Now this does make him a bit back heavy, which can be a problem, when it comes to posing him, standing him up. So luckily, he can now wield these babies to not only look cool, but give him a little bit of weight in the front there. So you just put him in his fists. Simple connection there. And now you have Optimus Prime in his Jetwing mode. Not to be confused with the other Jetwing mode he forms with Jetfire. Weren't very creative. They just reused the same name for each configuration. So, all right, now this wouldn't be a proper Studio Series review without showing the backdrop for the figure. This one does depict the Battle of Chicago, and you have the Driller, as it is known, just absolutely tearing through the buildings, destroying everything in its path, which is fitting because it and Optimus had a good tussle there once he equipped his flight tech. Now the wingspan for Optimus does create a bit of an issue. It's too wide to fit in here normally, so you may have to kind of just bend these back a little bit, flatten it out. Doesn't really want to go back, so it's a little different. So usually this is done up as a kind of enclosed space, but it doesn't really work for him. So you can go that route, or if you want to, you could just fold up his wings as if he was still in the packaging. Make him look a little weird, but he'll fit in here better. And there you go, there's Optimus getting ready for his fight with the Driller. And just for fun one last time, here are the different Optimus Primes, utilizing their full potential. Seeing them like this makes me feel a little bit better about double dipping on this mold, because it does give you the ability to display Optimus combined with Jetfire and with his trailer at the same time. So I suppose there is that. And then you can use this Optimus just as standalone version. So in that regard, I guess this does kind of complete the set. Now, do I think the toy is worth $50? That's a little bit harder of a sell. Obviously, he does come with his trailer, so that's going to add some bulk and everything and weight to it. But the trailer itself is very hollow. It does feel very cheap. I mean, even his jetpack, you see here, you're looking at like the underside of the boosters and it's just empty. Just nothing there. So, it could have been better. I think for $50, they could have given us a little more when it came to the trailer. They could have gone and painted some things that need to be painted. But this is what we got. I would say he's definitely worth a purchase if you haven't already picked up the Studio Series 32 version. Because, like I said, he comes with everything that version does, and their paint differences and all that are pretty minor overall. In fact, I would say that this Optimus is the more movie-accurate one because of his hood. If you already have the Studio Series 32, then it's a little more iffy. You already got the guy that can combine with Jetfire, which in all honesty, is the much more impressive combination compared to, the flimsy trailer bits. So unless you just really want to see him with his jetpack, it's not as big of a collecting priority, I would say. But that doesn't make this a bad toy by any means. It is very solid. I think it is the go-to Studio Series Prime. And I am happy that I finally managed to get one. Took longer than what I liked. Took even longer for me to get the time to review it, but finally got this done. And yeah, overall, a good purchase, but not an absolute necessity to complete your collection. You could always just get this version. But that is how I feel about this toy. I'd love to know what you all think down in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it or any of my other Transformers content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank y'all for joining me in my third look at movie Optimus in the Studio Series. Hopefully this time was as enjoyable as the other two. And with all that said, I will see you next time.